everyone, this is Zibo and welcome to today's Who to Pull video. So in today's video, we're going to run through the summer banner ups and see who you should pull for, who you should invest in the upcoming banner. Firstly, we have Summer Innkeeper Lorraine, then we have Scientist on the Beach Sohi, and we have Idol Captain Eva, and lastly, Lifeguard Yuze. So these are your summer series characters. And firstly, obviously, the most important character in this banner that you should definitely go for is Summer Innkeeper Lorraine because of Booba. Okay, I was just kidding, right? But in all honesty, I think Lorraine this time around, if you are basing it around the kit itself, she's not really that worthy of a pull, or rather, I won't put her as a top priority because her kit feels very generic, right? And the second point is I feel that she's a very filler unit. And lastly, I think she'll be power crept really easily. So let me talk about the first point, right? Why do I think she's very generic? So yes, she does have a pretty powerful stat line, and she does have a very simple kit, which is just deal damage, right? Heal off the damage dealt by her normal attack, right? She gets a shield and then like just do more damage and take less damage. So it's a very straightforward unit, but she's very single target focused, and that means that she's not as good in like some of the PvE contents, right? But with the upcoming expedition, the whole game might change to more single target unit heroes, so she might be a little stronger there, but nothing is confirmed. So if you want to base around the current climate, I think she's not the top tier because she's really stats dependent in terms of you needing to have a really good book collection or having good percentage bonuses, because if you're not dealing enough damage, you're not able to sustain your shield and you pretty much lose the second part of the effect. And secondly, her kit is just, you know, attack, right, and then chain wherever possible. So in fact, I think if you compare her with Sohi, they are really similar. But at least for Sohi's case, right, Sohi is really similar as well. But if you compare her to Sohi, I think even Sohi is a lot more usable in Colosseum because Sohi has the ability to chase after the backline, which makes Sohi more niche in that perspective. Obviously, I think Lorraine is a better rate unit compared to Sohi because Lorraine deals way more damage with her crit hit multiplier as well as crit hit chance buff when you equip her with an EX weapon. But other than that, I guess like yeah, there's nothing really too special, and in most cases such heroes get power crept in Garden Hills really easily. Maybe like 2-3 patches later you see like a better range unit and then you won't see her again, right? And the thing about her is she's not very versatile, so if you're investing in her because of arena, she might be power crept if there's a really powerful dark unit, which is probably gonna be the case because I'm pretty sure with the new world coming, a new dark unit will come together. Most of the time dark units are the one that come with the new world, so that's my speculation, but then again I could be wrong. So that is just my thought on her. And to conclude, right, I'm pretty sure most of you guys will still pull for her, not because of her kit, not because of her power level, but for other reasons. I shall not say this explicitly, but yeah, you guys know what. But then again, just take note that she might not last as long as she seems. Okay, moving forward, the next unit is another Booba unit, right? Scientist on the Beach Sohi. In fact, I think 3 of the 4 units on today's list is all Boobas, but yeah, for Sohi, I think right now her kit is not really fantastic. I think she got buffed recently, but she's still not seeing a lot of use because her kit is a bit too straightforward as well, similar to Bev, similar to Lorraine. So such units, if they are power crept by stronger units or units with more variety to playstyle or their kit, usually these units don't see as much plays anymore. So that's what happened to Sohi, but I myself use her pretty regularly and I do think that she's still a very viable arena unit, just that she's definitely not top tier but usable. And the next thing about Sohi is that she's always going to have this niche in Colosseum. If you do decide to form a melee Colosseum team, I think Sohi is a must because her ability to prioritize her attack to range dealers or enemies far away is very important to disrupt the backlines of your enemy. So if you're running her, maybe if you're trying to run her with Parvati in a melee Colosseum team, you can try that out, but I don't encourage it because it's not as strong with Linas around, right, with FPs being able to chain really easily. But if you are playing against a mono-like Colosseum team on defense, right, running a Sohi is absolutely amazing because she'll go go after the light backlines and then kill them, and then you know, there you have it, you solve the mono light issue in Colosseum. So that's one thing about Sohi that I really like. But other than that, I think she has been pretty much power crapped. Not as strong as it used to be, still very usable, but not the strongest unit you should go for. So in terms of priority, I think she's probably, I'll say, the least priority, because she's not very versatile, she's not super powerful, and there could be potentially stronger units coming out in the future that could easily replace her. So I won't encourage you to pull for her unless you are pulling her for other reasons. Okay, next up we have Idol Captain Eva. So if you compare Eva to all the other units in today's list, I'll say that Eva is the second highest in priority because of two reasons. Number one, Eva's versatility is amazing, right? Even though her party buff is basic attack plus 50%, but over time, I think I've seen a lot of different team compositions where Eva can work in, and her ability to actually keep your team healthy, buff their attack, and then buff their defense is really invaluable in such team compositions. And lastly, right, like the second reasons why I think she's really good in comparison to the other 4 units is that her kit is very unique to herself, right? That means that it's hard to find a unit to replace her. Like right now you have units that can heal a lot, right, in Mia, in Gabriel, and you have units that can buff your whole team's damage in Veronica, in Lucy, but you don't have a unit that is able to do both concurrently and consistently. So Eva is one of those units that can do that, and yeah, I don't think there's another unit that can fit that role. So you have debuffers like Kamel, you have like a debuffers like Muriel that can do massive damage. So different units have different aspects to their kit, and I think the part about her being a really amazing team utility is unique to her, and that's why her value, in my opinion, is like probably the second highest in this list. And the thing about her is, even though you see this basic attacks plus 50%, like I think this opinion has changed a lot over time, but I've played with quite a bit of Eva in defensive co-op, and I dare say that her position in the team is amazing, right? Her ability to just make your whole team deal a lot more damage and heal your whole team, because sometimes if your party do not have a healer, she can be that healer, and obviously you need to use basic units to maximize that team party buff, but still I think Eva can pretty much work without her party buff, right? Because of the other abilities. 30% attack from her chain skill, and then 30% attack from her weapon itself is a lot already. That's a 60% buff. So if you have a basic attack buff, that will be stacked on top of it, and that will be even more amazing. So that's why I say like my opinions of her has changed. In terms of rates, she's probably better in like rate compared to, you know, Lorraine as well as your Sohi. But Lorraine does have a massive damage, so like I think Lorraine can definitely be used in rate. But Eva is more versatile, and she has been with the basic team for the longest time possible, and I don't see that changing unless they introduce another basic attack unit anytime soon. So that's my thought about Eva, second highest in priority, probably the least sexiest on today's list, but I'll say that she's the second most unique, or in fact the most unique character on today's list. Okay, so the last unit on today's list is Lifeguard Yuze. So Lifeguard Yuze is a very underrated unit in my honest opinion. Even I myself made a mistake when I did a review on her. Personally, I didn't see her to be so versatile, but she's probably the most versatile unit in today's list for 3 simple reasons. Number 1, she's a melee unit, so there is very little melee unit that is able to reduce the damage enemy's defense. So the only other melee unit that can reduce defense is Kana, and the other one is her. So the other units are either melee defense or range defense, right? So there's another unit that can reduce defense, Tinia, right? Tinia is a range unit. So in that aspect, Yuze's position is very special. She basically can fit into any melee raid team, because defense reduction is a very important kit in dealing damage for raid. So that's why if you're running a melee team like your fire melee, dark melee, Yuze is a definite must-have to boost your damage tremendously. Other than that, one thing about her which I kind of mislooked at is her weapon skill ability. So if you guys take a look at her weapon skill ability, she's able to increase her attack range, very sweet. But the second part is the part that I think like people didn't really think too much about it, but this ability to increase all allies attack within the safe zone, which is her exclusive weapon skill Puddle of Water, is massive, in fact, because it has a 5-second skill duration, or rather duration. And like, let's say if you have her regen time reduced to about 7 seconds or 8 seconds, effectively the downtime to this buff is only about 2 seconds. So it's a highly consistent attack buff, and if you use her with melee units, right, most melee units will crowd around the target that you're trying to hit, so this buff is pretty much going to buff everybody in the party. So that's why she's a must-have for melee guild raid. And in arena sake, I think, like, I've seen a lot of people run her with Veronica in the weapon skill regen speed team, and I guess it's a really solid team as well, because number one, people don't expect Yuze, so people are usually not prepared for her, they don't know how to deal with her, and I've seen people put her to great use. But that is built on the fact that you definitely need to keep earth units banned, because Veronica and her is not really that strong against earth units, so do take note. And another thing about her is that I did see people run her with Eugene and one defensive buff, although that team is not that strong, but I encountered it myself and I think it's very annoying to deal with, so that's one team we can try. So in terms of versatility in today's list, right, and uniqueness, I think Yuze is probably the most unique one, because yeah, weapon skill regen speed is not a common party buff. There's only 2 unique units with such a buff, namely Gun FK and Yuze herself, so that really makes her a lot more valuable and like a lot more special. And her ability to reduce defense as a melee unit even solidifies the position further, so that's my thought about Yuze. And you should probably pull for her if you do intend to build your melee raid teams, or if you do intend to play a weapon skill or weapon speed regen team, right? So that's one thing about Yuze. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. Hopefully this video is helpful in letting you guys make a clearer decision on who to pull for this summer swimsuit banner. And thank you very much for watching. Do remember to like and subscribe in order to see more videos from the channel. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.